Hey folks, so I had a question about how I installed the temporary windshield on my Daytona. Um, it's in gel coat, it's going to get painted, so I didn't want to do a permanent install on the window. I know you probably could if you did enough planning and fit it up right, etc. But I chose to go with a temporary installation. Uh, and I thought I'd just take you through what I did with that. So as far as the supplies that I used, I got this 3M red tape, 764. That's probably about 2 inches wide. I've got this 1/8 inch thick foam uh, tape. It's got adhesive on one side and not on the other. Um, I've got a couple applicators used for like the vinyl stripes or window tint or whatever. And then I think sort of the optional item here is window tint that you may want to consider doing. So what I did this time when I installed it, the first thing I did was I installed the window tint along the top. It's easiest to do that while it's out of the car. And the stuff that I got is 6 inches. They've got all different, I guess, blocking capacities of this stuff. This is what I chose. I could tell you after driving this thing, you really don't look out that top part of the windshield, but if you put that tint in there, it does help reduce the heat in the car significantly. So I think it is worth doing it. I would do it again. Easiest to do, again, while you have the windshield out of the car. And what I would do, I just basically started about an inch down from the top of the glass and then just ran it across. And, I did have to trim out that little bit there for the rear view. But, this is all temporary. So I think when I do the window permanently, I would probably have a professional window tint job done. I did that on the back window, and boy, it looks nice. Couple $100, but it's a single sheet of film, so there's no seams or anything like that, and supposedly some really good stuff. So anyway, first thing I would do, I would install that window tint, and obviously clean the window, install the window tint. You want to check and make sure that the fit is good inside the opening. So, when you place the windshield in there, do you need to trim the body back in any location? So that's a consideration. I did need to make some adjustments in the upper corner on the driver's side, just to get it to fit in there. And on top of that, the fiberglass was thin in that area. So when I did have the body off and I was putting the Raptor on, I went ahead and put in some extra glass underneath there just to thicken it up. Between it being thin, there was also some cavities in there. So I strengthened that up a little bit, and that gave me a little bit of extra room to work with. But make sure it fits inside the opening. Once you have it so it does fit, and again, when you fit it, you want to make sure that you're anticipating that it's going to be probably a 1/4 inch away from the fiberglass, either because the adhesive material that will ultimately be on there or the temporary material that will be on there. But I ended up using 2 layers of this 1/8 inch thick foam insulation. The first layer that I put down to the fiberglass, I'd maybe put down, I'd only trim off the backing maybe for like an inch or so, maybe every 6 or 8 inches, so that when I do have to pull this off, the cleanup's not going to be bad. So hopefully I won't have adhesive everywhere. I'll just have it sort of every few inches. Maybe every 6 inches I'd have another inch of adhesive I'd have to deal with. But anyway, so I put that down in place and then put the second layer on there. So the equivalent of about a 1/4 inch of this foam backing material seems to do the trick. And then I put the windshield on, and then I taped it in place using this red tape. Obviously, if you're in gel coat, this is the stuff you want to use. Looks pretty good. I had it on there for a season. Most people, they kind of didn't notice it until they got up and looked closely at it. Then they're like, oh, hey, it's taped in, and maybe they think it's some kind of race car thing. I don't know. But yeah, if you're going to do it, use the red tape, spend the money. And so, yeah, then I taped it in and would use these, whatever they are, doodads to try to, work the bubbles out of it where I could, so it sort of looks smooth in there. I did end up with a couple bubbles here and there, and I just walked around and kind of popped them with an X-Acto knife and then pushed the air out. So at least it looks all right for a windshield that's taped in. And then I've got some 1-inch tape coming, the same stuff, but 1-inch. And then what I'll do is I'm going to put that along here and kind of trim out my my $20 Amazon racing stripes so that they look nice and tidy along the edges. But that's it. That's all I did. I did it last year. It lasted a season, and I redid it this year because I had the body off, and it held up really well. So there you go. Good luck, folks.